TV digging deeper. We are on your side addressing the wait times at Charlotte Douglas International Airport. This time, the waiting for wheelchair services.
So it's an ongoing issue we started reporting on in 2021 when no one showed up to take a woman in a wheelchair to her gate and was forced to walk to make her flight. Tonight, WBTV's Claire Kopsky tells us that problem still persists.
It's a problem that could affect any of us if we fell and broke our foot or developed a medical condition that requires help getting through the airport. In a moment, we introduce you to a woman who's been documenting her experience with one airline's wheelchair services company during more than a dozen trips to and from Charlotte Douglas Airport throughout the past 3 years. At times, she's given up traveling through our airport altogether and instead opted to drive here all the way from New York.
It's excruciating.
For Stacy Bradley,
my nemesis are stairs.
Airline travel begins before she sets foot in an airport.
But I have literal panic attacks as I'm booking the flight online, knowing I'm going to fly into Charlotte.
She's a frequent flyer between New York and Charlotte to see doctors for a medical condition.
Both of my hips, and they're bone on bone, excruciating, getting worse. It's a genetic thing.
When her health challenges started a few years ago, she didn't book a wheelchair when she flew.
Plain and simple ego. I was a 50-year-old woman. I'm not getting a wheelchair.
But as it got worse, she started booking one with her flights on American Airlines.
And I got to Charlotte and there was no wheelchair. And I waited. I had the gate agent call and no one showed.
That first trip, she ended up slowly walking all the way from the e-concourse to baggage claim. 6 weeks later, she flew again, and the same thing happened.
I'm told they're understaffed.
The next time, while there was a wheelchair available, there was no one there to push it. 2 other times, Stacy says she was pushed halfway through the concourse and then abandoned.
I've defined myself as a lawn ornament. You know, they just put you in a wheelchair and place you somewhere.
She also told us about 2 trips when American Airlines pilots had to step in.
So the pilot left the plane to go to the gate agent to figure out why there was a delay in getting me a wheelchair. So he comes back in, they're coming. They never came. So the flight attendant helped me walk down to the gate from the plane, and I just sat. And I sat, and I sat.
So what was the longest that you ever waited at the gate for Prospect Services to come pick you up?
I waited about an hour.
American Airlines contracts Prospect Airport Services to handle their wheelchair affairs in Charlotte. We repeatedly reached out to American Airlines asking if they're satisfied with the company and its service to their customers. However, they did not respond to any of our questions. Stacy says when she flies through other airports, it's seamless and wishes she could avoid travel through the Queen City.
Do not fly into Charlotte if you are in a wheelchair. You are invisible. You are not human. You are not worth dealing with, and they will treat you as such.
Stacy told me she's speaking out, pushing for change, because although after her surgery she'll be able to walk again, she knows there are other people living with chronic disabilities and elderly who will continue to need wheelchair services. In addition to American Airlines, we reached out to Prospect Services and Charlotte Douglas Airport. Charlotte Douglas directed us to American Airlines, and after many attempts, Prospect Services has not answered any of our questions. Stacy told me the thought of Charlotte Douglas Airport continuing to grow and add more terminals terrifies her, saying that the system for those who need wheelchairs is broken and won't work the way it's set up right now. Back to you.